is another marsupial and a close relative of the kangaroo. It too has a pouch for its single young, but it spends most of its time climbing up and down eucalyptus trees, and having a large youngster on its underside would prove cumbersome. So the young koala spends more time on the back of its mother, leaving her arms free for climbing. Baboons have a distinct hierarchy among their group. The young animals spend all their time with an adult female, although not necessarily their mother. It could be another female of high standing in the hierarchy, either its aunt or one of its older sisters. By spending time with an adult, the young baboon learns all the skills it will need later in life, and soon realizes where it fits in the hierarchy. Herds of African elephants like this normally consist of females or cows. The males either live alone or in small groups elsewhere. Within the herd there's a clear hierarchy led by a cow that may be 40 or 50 years old. Many of the younger cows have calves, and all the females are related by blood in some way. Very often a cow elephant will leave its calf with a babysitter, who will look after several offspring while their mothers go foraging. Any young female elephants will remain in the family group, but the young males, when they reach sexual maturity, will have to leave the herd. Very often they have to be forced to go, and either live alone or join a small group of other young bulls. Well, those elephants can spend many, many years with their parents. But of course, the animal that spends the longest with its parents is us, the human being. Well, I think Claude's about ready for his bottle now. So I'm going to give it to him and then say goodbye now.
If you had to live in one of these for a few months, what would you miss most about your present home? What would be the drawbacks to living in this igloo? How would you like a permanent home on wheels? What makes a home? What makes a home?
Eskimos live in an igloo and it's made out of big blocks of ice and snow.
My friend's got a tortoise and it lives in a box. It's called Elliot.
Because it's got your pets in it and because at the bottom I can go and pick the runner beans for my daddy and I like picking them. And we've got, on Sundays we get this little minibus to get all the football gear in and the men to take to the football pitch, which is in Barnsley. My grandma's got a budgie and me and our Anthony have to keep letting it out so that we can clean the cage. Because his home is warm and he's got all his brothers and sisters and all his friends and stuff in. Some fish can live in the sea and some fish live in rivers and some you can keep for pets.
What I like best about my home is my fruit room because it's got my snooker table and my record player in.
These live in hives and they're like little strips of straw that they weave it out of. And every day the girl bees go out to get honey and the boy bees stay at home and they are lazy. But in the winter when it comes, all the girls, some of the girls bees, they have to kick all the boys out. But then this queen bee, she lays these eggs and if two hatch at once, they have a fight and which one wins is the queen. My home is when I get home, I go and play with my rabbits, and then when I get in, I'm lovely and warm.
Badgers are black and white and they live in a set.
What I like best about my home is my brother and sister and my toys. I like my home because my mum and dad's there, and my pets are there, and I've got my brother and sister to play with. What I like best about my home is when I get home, I run upstairs and have a lay down on my bed and read books.
Hello. Would you swap your home for somebody else's? I wonder. I have a story for you now, and like all the stories that I read to you, it has lots of different meanings. So listen carefully. It's called 14 Rats and a Rat Catcher. Once upon a time, long, long ago, a nice old lady lived in a cottage in the forest, but she had a nasty family of rats under her floor. Once upon a time, long, long ago, a nice rat family lived under the floor of a tiny cottage in the forest, but they had a nasty old lady living above them. One day, the old lady went into town to do her shopping. She went into a small pet shop.
"Good riddance," shouted the happy rats. "Now we have our home to ourselves."
So they ran riot about the cottage. That evening, the old lady came back with a cat, a very handsome cat, a very large cat.
"Dearie me," said the rats when they saw the cat. "What a vicious-looking cat, and how very ugly."
So the old lady and her friendly pet tried to catch the horrible rats, without any luck at all. The rats were very nimble, and with a great deal of luck, avoided the wicked old lady and her pest. At the end of a week, when the handsome cat hadn't caught a single rat, the old lady took him back to town in disgrace.
"Good riddance,"
shouted the happy rats, and they celebrated with tea and buttered biscuits. That evening, the old lady came back with an old man, the town's rat catcher. He was a very pleasant old man, a very handsome old man.
"Dearie me," said the rats when they saw the rat catcher. "What a horrid old man, and how very ugly." The old lady and the rat catcher had a nice cup of tea together and took a real liking to each other, while the unhappy rat family, without any appetite at all, looked on and hated both of them. That night, the rat catcher sat down and plotted how to get rid of the rats, while the rats put their noses together and plotted how to get rid of the rat catcher. The rat catcher went out into the barn looking for rats, and the largest rat went out into the barn looking for the rat catcher. The rat catcher and the largest rat met, and they plotted together. Upstairs, the old lady lay asleep dreaming about the rats and about the rat catcher. In the morning, when the old lady came downstairs, there wasn't a rat to be seen, just the nice rat catcher, while under the floor, the rats kept very, very quiet. So the nice old lady married the handsome old rat catcher, and the rats were happy because the rat catcher had promised not to catch them if they kept quiet as mice. Now keep thinking about that story, won't you? And now it's time to meet our guest. Come with me. This is Hazel Joburns. Hello, Hazel.
Hello.
And Hazel has very kindly brought in some models and some paintings from a project that they've been doing at her school. So let's have a look at the models first, shall we, Hazel? What are these models at the front?
Lots of different kinds of houses.
And what are they made of, Hazel?
Clay.
Clay, and they're painted pretty colours, aren't they? Some with chimneys and some without chimneys. And what about this? What's this here?
It's a house made of mud with a straw
Roof and all mud round the outside. What about this one? This is made from something different.
It's made from lots of sorts of leaves to keep it warm.
To keep the people warm, yes. And this one, this is made from mud too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for bringing all those in. As I said, Hazel has also brought some paintings to show us. And so let's look at these paintings. And Hazel, will you tell us what they are? Here's a bright one. What's this?
It's the kind of what's on wheels and
It's a mobile home, isn't it? For moving about. And what's this one?
That one's in a desert where a tent, and they live in a tent so that they can move.
So they can move that home as well. And who painted this picture?
Me.
Yes. What about this one?
That's a picture of a family together eating.
Having a nice, happy home life there. And this one?
That's a picture of lots of colourful carpets, what you put in a home.
And these are cut out here, aren't they? But this is wool that's stuck on, and that keeps our home nice and warm, doesn't it? And Hazel also brought a very big picture, which is much too big to go in the book, so we've put it on the wall behind us. Let's have a look at that. What's this?
It's a picture of an house with lots of bricks on, and it's got lots of different words on the bricks.
It has, hasn't it? Love, mum, family, and a big love on the roof up there, because that's what is the most important thing to make a home, isn't it? Well,
Yes.
Thank you very much for bringing all those in, Hazel. It's time for Hazel and me to say goodbye now, but we've got some more pictures for you to look at, so keep watching. But from me and Hazel, it's bye-bye. Wave bye-bye. Here's a picture of Dad decorating the home to make it colourful and pleasant to live in. And here children playing, and there's a budgie in his cage. He's got his own home. And here's lots of things that make up a home, loving, sharing, and the family being together, with a big heart in the middle. Here's a home in Switzerland. This home's made from wood, with pretty curtains in the window. And here's another comfortable home with a television and a nice big sofa. This picture's made with all sorts of things cut out and stuck onto card, like the last one was. Here are children playing at home, because a house isn't a home without people in it. Have a nice day at school. Until next time, goodbye.